Hi everybody, and welcome to what is kind of almost like an accidental channel, if you like. I'm not a vlogger. Never really had the thing to pick up a camera and do a vlog. But I think sometimes there are things you should get out there, and I just felt that this vlog is something which I think would be valuable to some people, and I'm going to try and be as balanced and unbiased. It's just me and my phone, and I'm just going to talk to you like we're sitting around having a chat and a drink, just talking about bikes and stuff. So just a little bit about where this is coming from. So I've been a biker for many moons. I've had many bikes across all sorts of genres over the years. I've currently got an old 1959 Royal Enfield, and if that's something you might be interested in seeing some stuff on that, I can maybe put some stuff out on that bike. I've got a practically new Speed Twin 900 Triumph. Now those bikes, my 1959 Enfield is really my project bike. I built it up. It's totally non-standard, and as I say, if you're interested in that, guys, look, put a comment down below if you're interested in seeing some videos on that, and I can do some videos on that and put that out there if you're interested. And the Triumph is really good for the longer distances. I don't normally do more than about 100 miles, 120 miles in one go. I'm not a tourer. And that's perfect for me. It's a nice low seat height, and I've got a couple of medical issues which I don't want a bike that's too tall that I'm going to find difficult to struggle with. So that fits that bill. But what I was missing was, whilst the 59 Enfield is great for doing some country lanes and that kind of stuff, I don't feel 100% confident on doing any real distances. So if I wanted to do 50, 100 miles, and I know, look, there's some of you out there who are going to say, look, it could do that, no problem. And yeah, it could do, but yeah, it is temperamental. It's an old bike, and it's actually a Clipper 350 rather than the Bullet, so the lesser, some people might argue. And I'm just not 100% confident that it's going to get you there and back. And I just wanted something that was a little bit more comfortable as well, if I'm really honest, a bit more refined, to go and do those distances, 50 or 60 miles out in the lanes. Go to a show, go and see some friends. And the Triumph, as I say, is for the bigger mileage. So that's where I'm coming from. So I had some kind of a bit of a missing gap, and I've been looking at obviously the Enfields for a while. In terms of the new Enfield, so looked at the Meteor. A couple of friends of mine have got Meteors. I really like the Classic, and I thought, well, actually, it's a relatively cheap bike. I think I could probably stretch to buying one. I can justify that, getting out on the lanes. I wanted something for winter, so whilst if it was down to me, I would have had the red and the chrome. I think that looks fantastic, and in the flesh I think it looks actually better than it does in pictures, and the same goes for the bronze and chrome. I think that looks great as well, but I wanted something I could really ride all year round, because I like to get out no matter what the weather, and I wanted something which wasn't going to take too much cleaning. I wouldn't be too precious about in terms of polishing it. And I'm sure we've all been in the situation where we've had a bike and we've polished the bike, and we think, oh, we'll go take it out for a ride, and it's been raining a bit, and we think, oh, I don't want to get it all dirty again. It's going to sit there for a day or two. I got work tomorrow, whatever the situation. So I thought I would go for one of the what I would call the matte colours. So the stealth black, potentially the grey, but something with the black engine and the black pipe, easy to clean, easy to live with. And I also thought I might do some modifications, paint wise, and do something there. It was a good base, put it that way. So I made the decision to buy one of those models. I live in West Norfolk. I went to a local dealer. Now I'm not going to name the dealer at the moment, and you'll see why shortly. So I thought I'll go and see what they've got, and they had the grey and black model, so grey bodywork black, and they had a stealth black. I'm not keen on the red stripe of the Stealth Black, but I thought, it looks a nice bike. I could do something with that. So that's what I went with. So I've bought, and I got it on offer. I got a reasonable price. It was £3,799 plus, I think, £210, I think, including on the road costs, road tax, usual kind of DVLA admin fees. So I think it was £4,009. I had an old scooter, which I traded in, got £1,000 for that. And so basically the bike cost me, in actual money, £3,009. Let's take a look at the bike. Just before we have a look at the new one, let's have a quick look at the old one. So here's my 1959. It's a Clipper 350, really early Mark II Clipper. I think it's engine number 304. It's totally not standard, but look, we can come on to that in another vlog if you're interested. As I said, if you're interested, put the comments down below, and we'll do a walk around, and I'll go into that in a little bit more detail. But let's swing it around. Oh, and there's my trusty helper. That's Norbert, by the way. He's not very happy. I don't know why he's not very happy. Anyway, there she is, or there he is, in Stealth Black, and I think that looks a really nice bike. I know the chrome finishes, I think I would agree they do look a little bit more classic, but there's just something about the ease of living with, an all black bike. As I say, I think I'm going to potentially do something paintwork wise. I'm thinking on the mud guards, the mid boxes on the side, maybe the tank, maybe not. I might leave the tank, although I'm not keen on the red stripe. Anyway, that's maybe some material for another day. Again, if you're interested in me sort of like doing some mods, paintwork and otherwise, then we can run through that. I do mods on my bikes, so if it's something you're interested in, as I say, this is not, I've not started this channel as a kind of bike vlogging channel. It's just I wanted to get a couple of points over, and I'm going to show you some of the things on this bike to get to my point. But I think that looks a really nice bike. Let's say it's brand new. I bought it Wednesday. It's Sunday today. I've done 55 miles on it, and I love the bike. I absolutely love the bike. As soon as I got on the bike, and I'm sure those of you who've got them know, as soon as you get on the bike and you ride up the road 1 or 2 miles, you are completely smitten. It's a perfect height for me. The seat height's about 805 centimeters rather. And I think it's got a perfect riding position for me. It's very comfortable on the seat. And I've been out on it about 3 times, as I say, done about 55 miles. So I'm running it in gently in kind of 15 to 20 mile kind of intervals, about an hour on the bike at a time. And it's one of those bikes, it just begs to be ridden. I just can't wait to get out on it. So I went out and did the first couple of rides and did what most people do, went over it with myself just to make sure everything was okay. Did a bit of spannering, make sure all the nuts, bolts and everything were in place. Now, there is a couple of issues, and this is the point really of this vlog. I've heard the fit and finish on these bikes is really good. As I said in the intro, a couple of my friends have got Meteors, and I've actually, one of those has also got an Interceptor, and the build quality on them I think is pretty decent for the price point. I'm not going to say that my street is under there, which again we can come on to in a different vlog if you're interested in that. It's a special edition green and black. But yeah, so the build quality, I think, bearing in mind this bike and the Interceptors are built to a price point. I mean, the friend of mine who's just bought an Interceptor, he's bought that for about £5,100. It's the base model, but it's a twin for just over £5,000, and even this at £4,000, I think it represents still great value. But here's the thing: there are a couple of issues, and we're going to get onto those next. Okay, so the first issue I've got, and again, these I want to be really clear here. This is not a dig at Royal Enfield or the dealer. This is built to a price point. But I just want to call out that whilst everybody says the fit and finish is great, and you know, I've seen various, you know, Stuart Fillingham, and I'm sure if you've watched any of the Enfield videos, you've seen some of his videos, and he can't fault it. Well, I can fault it, and as I say, this is not a down on Enfield, and I love the bike, but I think it's important to point these out. And this is a critique. It's not something which I'm going to be, you know, down on the whole kind of, oh, it's a cheap bike and no, it's built in India and all that kind of stuff. There's a few things which could have easily been resolved from a quality control perspective. So the first one, if I can get in there, and you have to excuse me, as I say, I'm not a vlogger. I'm doing this on my phone. Now you probably can't see here, but like the plating on that, I don't know if I come around here, you see it from there, it kind of stops. Yeah, you can kind of see here, you get my there, you can see it where it's coming across. There you go. Now, and on the top, as you can see, you know, about here, it stops about here, and all of that is kind of a tarnished kind of looking thing. Also, the welding under here is not great. I'm not going to show you because I'm just not going to be able to see it. Yeah, the pedal's a bit flimsy, but yes, that missing kind of thing on there, that plate, not great. Now the second issue is that foot peg on this side is fine, nice and smooth, nice little bit of movement, it's solid. On the other side, however, I'm going to have to try and get around here. On this side, a little bit of a different story. Completely loose. The action's okay, but it's just completely loose. I don't know whether there's a spacer missing there. Let's just go back to the other side. Yeah, nice and solid with a nice little bit of movement. And on this side, as you can see, it just rattles around. Again, something that could have been easily resolved from a quality perspective. Now, the biggest issue that I've got is actually with the side box. And I'll show you, I only got alerted to this issue because I took the bike out. So I'm just going to seat around here for a second. I took the bike out in a shower, and it was a downpour. I'll be honest, it was a downpour. I got the bike back inside, gave it a drying off, and I noticed that there was some moisture dripping out of the bottom of the side box. I thought, oh, that's a bit odd. So when I went to open it, bearing in mind it was literally about the second ride. Now, I had opened the box previously, but I didn't notice anything untoward. I did notice it was a little bit stiff. I thought, okay, well, it's new. You know, it's a new bike. Of course, it's going to be stiff. So let me just show you. If I open it, you have to give it a little. You have to give it a little pull and a little push, which isn't unusual on an Enfield. I've had Enfields, you know, before, and they all need a little bit of encouragement. The first thing that I looked at was, I thought, okay, that looks a bit odd. Now that looks like the lock, or the locking mechanism, is obviously scratching up against the lock, either when putting it in or when unlocking it. So when I looked, I thought, well, I can see some water. I can see some water in the bottom here. Now, obviously, that's the flasher relay just sat in there. And obviously, you know, this is your main electrics. Here, your batteries in there. You've got your relays and other bits and pieces in here. So obviously, you know, this is quite important to keep this fairly dry. So I thought, well, I couldn't quite see what was happening. So I closed this up again. And again, a little bit of a struggle. And when I came round to the side, now I don't know if you're going to be able to see this clearly. There is It'd be better if I just do it from this. Right, there is a sizable, from the top down, a sizable gap big enough that at the bottom I can actually get my finger in to the actual electric box cover itself, right inside. And it goes right under here. And again, I don't know whether you're going to be able to see it, but yeah, like I say, I can get my finger right in there and it goes right up to the top. So clearly this is completely misaligned. And then when I looked underneath, I noticed exactly what the problem was. If you can see there, the cover does not close onto the bottom. That's the bottom of the case, and that's the top of the cover, and that's why the lock is scraping on the lock barrel, and that's why it's leaking, and probably why it's got this huge, I mean literally, I don't know if you can see this, I can literally put my fingers in this, 3 fingers into the gap between the actual case and the lid, which is obviously the water was coming along here, getting in down the side as I was traveling along, pooling in the bottom, and then obviously just leaking out of this gap at the bottom. Now what I also noticed as well, get back up here a second. Right, so what I also noticed, there's my key again, was that because of that, you might not be able to see this too clearly, right, but down here, you can see that there. Here, just here, you can see there's actually a kink in the plastic casing, just there. And there's also an associated bend in the metal of the side case. So clearly this has been either, this whole plastic casing for the side boxes, both sides, has either been poorly fitted and has distorted at the bottom there. And that's obviously causing the case actually to close over the top of it, not actually locking it nicely into place and creating a nice seal. I mean, it's not going to be necessarily 100% watertight, but obviously that's, yeah, there's obviously clearly an issue right there. Now obviously these are things which I'm going to go back to the dealer with. It's Sunday today, so I'm going to go back to the dealer. The foot peg and the brake plating, as you can see that actually quite clearly from here. I'm not too fussed about that. These are things that happen. I can probably look at that and fix that. I might even take the brake pedal off and spray it black anyway. But the side box obviously is that's a big issue. You know, that's your main electrics, and water is clearly able to get in there quite easily. So look, again, I want to just reiterate, this is not a down on Royal Enfield. Problems happen. It'd be interesting to see what the dealer's stance is about that, because I can't see a sensible way to fix that. Oh, one other thing which I did notice, and I'm not going to take it out again. This box, its side cover, is held on by 2 screws, 1, 2, and there's a small screw in the middle as well. Now that the 2 bolts, I tried to undo those because I thought, well, maybe that's just not been fitted very well. Maybe it's just in there, you know, it's skewed or something. But there's a middle screw that holds the hinge on, that's inside as well. That screw is in there, but the head of it is missing. So the head of it has been sheared off. So again, this is a quality control issue as far as I'm concerned. But it'd be interesting to see what the outcome of this is, because I don't think that is fixable without taking that entire plastic, the side box that goes right through the middle of the bike and replacing that, or unless it's been, you know, incorrectly fitted and it's putting strain somewhere that's pulling it out of shape. But anyway, I thought I'd just give you a few of the issues that I've got, and as I say, I just want to reiterate once again that this is not a down on the bike. You know, these are just some of the real life issues. I'm not a vlogger. I've got no bias or interest, financial or otherwise. You know, I'm certainly not started this is really sort of, if I do anything else on the channel, it's purely an accidental channel, that I just feel that people should know that these issues exist. And if you're going to look at one of these, just check out things like the side case covers, that they all close properly, they're aligned, foot pegs and all that kind of other stuff. But other than that, again, I love the bike. It begs to be ridden, and more than happy that I've made the purchase. So I don't regret that at all. Just as a side note, and I'm not going to put this in because there's lots of vlogs out there that have done this. I've also gone into where the relays are housed in here, and I did have the grease problem. Absolutely all the relays packed with grease, which are known to be a potential failure point, and I've cleaned those out as well. So anyway, look, I hope you've enjoyed this and found some value. Certainly if you're looking to buy one, I wouldn't let it put you off. As I say, I'm more than happy with the bike, and hopefully the dealer can get this resolved under warranty in some way. And I'll post back what that dealer says, their response and their action. Okay, thanks for listening, thanks for watching, keep safe and keep riding.